Jeremy Weiss here. We're here live at RetailX. I'm here with Steven of Burrow. Steven, tell us what you do.
Thanks for having me. So at Burrow, we sell direct-to-consumer furniture. Typically when customers are buying furniture, they're picking between heavy, expensive stuff, think like Crate and Barrel, all the way up to Restoration Hardware, or they're buying cheap, flimsy, disposable stuff. But modern consumers want value, right? They want quality products, but they don't want to wait forever for them. They don't want to overpay for them, and they also need them to be able to move with them. So we design furniture that is optimized to be shipped in a week. Directly to your home from our factory in North Carolina. It can be set up in a few minutes, and then it's really high quality furniture that can easily move with you when you inevitably do move a few years later.
How did you get into this business, the furniture?
Yeah, if you told me 5 years ago that I was going to be running a furniture company, I would have told you to get lost. When I moved to business school to start...
Where did you go?
To Wharton.
Okay.
We're one of the many direct-to-consumer furniture, or not furniture, but direct-to-consumer brands that have emerged from that school. When I got to Philly for business school, my co-founder and I had to buy furniture, and he bought a sofa from West Elm. It took 12 weeks to arrive. I went the IKEA route, spent hours on the floor with an Allen key putting it together. And we were like, this is miserable.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, we're like, there's got to be a better way to do this. And so we were in an entrepreneurship class, the same class that Warby Parker was started in.
I was going to say, Warby Parker, yeah.
Yes, it was literally the same thing. And so we made a pitch deck and a business model. And, a few years later, we've got a big furniture brand.
Do any of the professors there, I know sometimes they'll get involved as advisors or, put capital in? Is that the case?
Some of the professors in the marketing department helped out with advising, and then one of them, David Bell, who's famous.
I've met David.
He invested.
He's has a lot of Warby Parker and some other brands, right?
Yeah, he was. So he's no longer a professor at the school. He's now he has his own incubator now. But
makes sense.
He was just like, all these companies, I have first access to like seeing behind the scenes how they're doing, and then as they get traction, I can just write a check. I was in his class, and he wanted to invest, and he was like, we should probably wait till after the class is over, just so there's no.
It's like dating a student, sort of. Not really, but
Yeah, we were like, yeah, we'll wait until the class is over. We don't want to make anything.
What's some good advice you've gotten from David?
From David, it's to not compromise on brand. It's so funny. So we went through Y Combinator. The Y Combinator. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We were not a traditional Y Combinator company.
Yeah,
obviously.
Because they usually take tech companies.
Exactly. And
why do you think they took you?
They really just take smart business opportunities. They tend to do a lot of tech. I think that's their brand, but they're not opposed to models where, for us, it's like a $100 billion industry, super fragmented. The growth of online is rapid, but it's still just a small percentage of the industry. And so they saw the same thing we saw. There's an opportunity to create a multi-billion-dollar brand by doing something different and like optimized for the way modern consumers shop and live. So I think that hooked them. But whenever we mentioned the word brand at YC, they were like, "You're wasting."
Why is that?
They're just like, your brand is what your customers say it is. You don't invest in brand, you don't create a brand. But then obviously for a consumer physical product, like brand is really important. And it's not just a fluffy thing of like, what your logo and color scheme is, right? It's what do you stand for and how are you engaging with your customers and, what's your value proposition? How do you communicate that in a concise, consistent way?
Is that because they're more worried about driving direct sales?
Yeah.
Is that why?
Well, like in a tech product, right? Like if you're buying some piece of software, you care about the functionality and if it works, right? You don't care like what the value proposition how they're communicating versus if you're buying a physical product, a consumer product, there's an emotional connection. There's an emotional component to it, right? You can there's a reason why there could be a better product that does, like take the Zune, Microsoft Zune, for instance, was a superior product to the iPod. But the iPod everyone bought because they liked Apple and they like Apple's brand.
But 9 out of 10 people will say, what's a Zune?
Exactly. They don't exist anymore because Apple or Microsoft was too focused on the functionality in the product. And Apple said, we got a great product, now we're going to create a lifestyle around it. And like if you identify with this type of lifestyle, you want the iPod and everyone else has the iPod.
So what good advice did you get from Y Combinator? Some people Y Combinator.
Y Combinator's whole mentality is learn fast, like just try things out and then iterate and you'll figure it out. And so
what were you trying?
We started selling our sofa before, like our first product is a modular sofa that ships in the mail. We hadn't made it yet. And we didn't even have a manufacturer. And they said...
That's like lean startup.
Yeah, totally lean startup.
Technology lean startup, I feel like physical goods lean startup is tough.
Very tough, very tough. So they said start pre-selling it. So we made a Squarespace page and made a fake version of the sofa, like just like a regular sofa, and photoshopped it and edited it in PowerPoint to create different colors. I mean, it was like very, very basic. And started taking pre-orders, and they were rolling in, and then we're like, crap, yeah, we got to figure out how to make this thing, and then of course the pre-orders were delayed, and then you're dealing with customers, and then you're getting real-time feedback from your customers on how the product is. And you're right, from the tech product, you can roll out iterations of it pretty fast and make tweaks to it and fix bugs.
Yeah, you can't roll out, here's your sofa, oh, we'll come over and make a tweak to that leg.
Yeah, no, you're getting feedback from people, and then you're trying to help, like, they need to be happy though, right? So so you get these early customers that give you feedback, and you iterate on it and roll it into the future versions of it and whatnot. But yeah, it's more expensive to keep people happy because some of them you got to send them a new sofa, and that's not cheap. So, but it did force us to grow really fast and just keep gaining momentum and just trying things out and then fixing it later.
So talk about the evolution in a company. So you start off, you do the pre-sale page. Now you're shipping product. What's the next stage?
So the next stage for us is expanding into all furniture categories. We always knew we wanted to be a furniture brand, but the sofa was the biggest pain point, the center of the living room, center of the home, really, right? The most important piece. And for any furniture brand, if you buy the sofa, a lot of people want to buy everything from like the same company because they know it'll all go together.
Yep.
If we could nail it with the perfect sofa, we would then be able to sell them all these other products and have the same approach of how do we design it more thoughtfully to be shipped, in the mail for a lot less money, but still be the same quality as higher end brands. So we're going to continue to launch those products, and it's because we had this base of the sofa. I mean, we sold over $20 million worth of this one single sofa style in the first 2 years.
Amazing.
Yeah, nobody's ever done that before. So
wow.
Hopefully we can keep that going with the other products.
So right now, what do you see is, I'm sure you're looking at other brands and e-commerce. What are some of the challenges you see other people experiencing or that are bleeding into what you guys are working on?
Yeah, so I mean, in just looking in furniture in particular, the biggest challenge is last mile delivery. It's expensive to ship large products they're also expensive to warehouse because sofas are big and bulky, right? And so
that's why I'm so curious of what attracted them. I hear furniture, I hear really hard to ship bulky products.
Yes. So our sofa, if you think about it, like each seat, it's a modular sofa, so each seat comes apart and the backrest folds down, the cushions come off, and you ship those in the individual boxes that are within the UPS dimensional weight guidelines, so we don't get hit with a large package surcharge. So we can ship anywhere in the country from our factory in North Carolina in less than a week, and we can do it for about $100 on average. It would cost.
That's amazing.
Yeah, most furniture brands will pay hundreds of thousands of dollars shipping the furniture. And companies like Wayfair are offering 2-day shipping, but they're bleeding cash doing it because it costs so much money, and then they have free returns and everything, and then other brands just can't afford it, and so because they just have a different business model than Wayfair, and so then they have to have a delayed shipping, and they also have to eat that cost of shipping last mile bulky stuff. We designed it from day one to be shipped with UPS ground shipping, and that allows us to be much more nimble and just designed for modern e-commerce.
Yeah, sorry, I had to go on that tangent, but talk about the challenges for a second. Yeah. What's bleeding in as far as the challenges go?
For challenges, for us early on, it was manufacturing. In the furniture industry, typically brands like Restoration Hardware, Design Within Reach, they'll go to manufacturers and say, I like this and this. The manufacturers are working with furniture designers, and they'll come up with new collections and whatnot. And then I say, I like this one, and this one. That's what I'm going to sell on my website or at my store. And if you go to a manufacturer and you say, I've got this brand new design and this brand new way of producing my furniture, I want you to do it. They're like, no, unless you're going to buy 1,000 out of, on day one, there's why am I going to invest in developing this new process? This is the way that we make furniture, sell what we make. And so early on, we approached all these manufacturers with this, great idea, and they said, No, like that's just what we make. And so we had to find this small factory outside of Mexico City that was willing to work with us, prototyped with them, quickly outgrew them while we were producing pre-orders, moved to like a medium-sized factory in Mississippi, outgrew them within a year. We were like dominating their entire factory. And then last summer we switched to a very large manufacturer in North Carolina. And now as we're getting to all these other product categories, we're developing a global supply chain. But that's been incredibly challenging to kind of scale that with demand and kind of time.
I'm losing sleep even thinking about what you're saying right now, actually.
It's stressful. It's stressful for sure.
What kind of team do you need to put on place? Because now it started the two of you, right?
Yeah, it was two of us. We've now brought in actually a very world-class team. We have our head of marketing, ran marketing and e-commerce at Design Within Reach for the last 8 years. We have a VP of product. He has experience with furniture design, industrial design, has overseen a massive furniture program in the past. And then we've got some seasoned operators, a really strong creative team. Because the brand and the creative direction has to be innovative and different. If we're creating these innovative products that are going to serve people in a different way than any furniture company ever has before, we have to speak to them differently too. And we always play this game where if you take all these catalogs, these furniture catalogs, and you cover up the logo and say, who do you think this brand is? It could be anyone. Is it CB2? Is it West Elm? Is it Restoration Hardware?
Right.
You don't know. They're all shooting in the same locations. It all looks the same. It's very aspirational, but it's very stale. There's no people in it. It's not lived in. And so we communicate differently where we say, we understand that you live in your home and you want it to look nice, but it's got to be realistic, right? There's going to be a coffee cup on the coffee table and a half-eaten breakfast sandwich, and there's people on it, and there's pets on it. Yeah, and that's okay. And like we celebrate that, and that resonates with our customers. So we have to have a really strong creative director to lead that vision.
I feel like there should be like one of those kind of purple mattress commercials. For one of your pieces.
We have some commercials. Okay. We have one. So our sofa has a hidden USB charger in it, and so we have a commercial where this robot walks into his living room and sits down after a long day, and then he plugs himself into the couch and then like lights back up, and then he actually takes off his helmet. It's a guy inside, and he's just like eating a sandwich.
That's great. I love it. Where can people find your website and some of these cool videos?
Yeah, Burrow.com, Burrow, and then if you just YouTube Burrow, you'll see our new. The Never Normal is our campaigns. Those are the campaigns with the new commercials that are interesting.
Jeremy Weiss, live from RetailX.